Let's jump into this first story. From IGN.com, Activision pulls FaZe Clan streamer NICKMERCS skin from Call of Duty following anti-LGBTQ plus tweet. Quote, "We are focused on celebrating pride with our employees and our community." So first, who is this guy, FaZe? I believe I have his YouTube right here. He's a streamer, plays video games. He's got 4 million subscribers. And what exactly did he say that got his skin pulled from this game? He said, "They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue." That's it.
Leave them kids alone.
So there's a great and powerful revelation in this tweet and what's happening. In response, Activision tweeted this, a Call of Duty on Twitter, which is an Activision game. Charlie Intel says, "It appears Activision has removed the NICKMERCS bundle from the Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 store this evening. Activision has not commented on why it has been removed, but the removal of his bundle comes a day after NICKMERCS' recent comments about the LGBT plus community. Call of Duty says, due to recent events, we have removed the NICKMERCS operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating pride with our employees and our community." This is actually pretty amazing. Let me get right to it. NICKMERCS did not say anything anti-LGBTQ. He said they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. Let's break this down. Let's dissect what this prominent streamer with millions of followers on Twitter and millions on YouTube said. Leave kids alone. If a leftist showed up to a school where they were protesting, parents were protesting these books, an Antifa person said, "Leave the kids alone." Is that anti or pro-LGBTQ? It's very vague. If a leftist said, "Leave kids alone," they would assume it was a leftist statement and say the right is targeting kids. NICKMERCS didn't say anything specific other than leave kids alone. It could have been left or right wing. So there's something else you can see here. The fact that simply by saying leave kids alone, the left got triggered, angry, and pulled him from this game shows they actually understand that they are targeting children with something negative.
Well, what is this? It's a response. What's it in response to?
So this Puckett account says, "This happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life." And it was in response to the video of the parents fighting with far leftist activists. You can see the sign here, "Protect Trans Kids." He says they should leave the little children alone. That's the real issue. Now, hold on. Why is it that the immediate assumption was that this was a right-wing or anti-LGBTQ post? I mean, the sign in the video says "Protect Trans Kids." Wouldn't his statement be in agreement with what that sign says? Protect the kids. Yeah, they should leave those kids alone.
Yeah, I mean, they've totally exposed themselves on this, right? And the funny thing is, the hypocritical thing is, this is supposed to be like the party of choice. And that's really what this battle is about, is that parents want to be able to have the choice to have their kids opt out of the Pride Month educational program that they have mandated every child has to go through. Now, a long time ago, when I was in school, you could opt in or opt out of sex education. Now, I'm sure as it relates to heterosexual education, I'm sure that's still the case. But apparently in Pride Month, there's no opt-out. Like, these are the guys of choice, right? Well, no, they're not, actually. This is about compulsion. It's about control. And I think it's about brainwashing the young people in this country.
Yes. I got that. I saw a video of them dancing through the hallways of an elementary school, like the little kids, and they were like a rainbow. They were like dancing through a rainbow portal or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought about it when I was 6 and 7 in like 1st and 2nd grade, and like what I would have felt going into that would have been very afraid. Like, not, and maybe that sounds crude, but like I don't just like it would have made me nervous because I didn't know what it was, and everyone's screaming. But like they want to, it's a chance to not have to do boring schoolwork, so everyone's in. For a lot of people are into it, but like I can see how kids would be like not comfortable but not saying anything about it, because when you're 7, what the hell can you say and who can you say it to?
Well, and this is just one event that's happening in the Unified School District of Los Angeles. They've now instituted, I think it's like 5 separate days of, trans awareness and a day of silence and another Pride Month and this and this and that. If these people celebrated like the 4th of July, maybe perhaps like they celebrated this, we'd have a very different country, right? I mean, it's insane.
Right.
Let me show you this. NICKMERCS responded to the backlash saying, friends are created in good times, but families are built through adversity. Appreciate all of you that have my back. Understand my position as a new father and recognize the love I have for all. Ain't no hate in this heart, P&L. I mean, that's it.
I mean, that's very well said. Look,
Won't back down.
I have 3 kids, right? And no one is in control of my kids except me and my wife. That's it. They want control over everyone's kids. I mean, we've seen that debate happen over and over again. They want to have the control of shaping our child's future, their thoughts, what they're going, how they view the world. That's me. I am in control of them. I am their parent. Not these teachers, not these activists, me and my wife.
The left is motivated to affect the what they call cultural hegemony. So when you have kids and you send them to what you assume are schools that are going to teach them how to be good Americans, how to be liberals, how to be, live in our society. When you do that, you make more capitalists. That's what schools used to do. Nowadays, and what happened was the left realized that to break that reproduction of the society is the only way that you're going to get to a socialist United States. So they go into the schools using a Freirean method, and they break that hegemony by teaching children their morals and their the way that they want society to be.
What's the Freirean method?
Paulo Freire was a Portuguese Marxist, and he is the most influential in current schools. Basically, he wants to have generative issues. So the way that he wants to, or the way that his method is, teach children in a way that introduces political themes to them, right? So if you're teaching math, the Freirean method figures out a way to not only teach the math lesson or teach the math lesson and additionally teach the political aspects or teach political aspects.
So like how many stars are on the flag, how many stripes are on the flag?
Yeah, stuff like that. But so maybe they're talking about maybe they're talking about how much it costs to get into. Maybe they're talking about money, right? Or talking about using money as an example. They would try to direct the conversation, and this is just an example. This is not the directed way, but they would try to say, well, maybe you're going to get everyone in the car and go to the amusement park. Well, there's a bunch of ways that you can make that political. First of all, you could talk about the car. Well, everyone gets into the car, but is that really good for the environment? How many people are going in the car? Is it bad for the environment to go to the amusement park? Who's been to an amusement park? Everybody's been. You haven't been to an amusement park. How come you haven't been to an amusement park? Well, your parents don't have the money. These are all ways that you can bring up politics in what is ostensibly a math or a geography or whatever lesson. And if you can teach kids, if you can bring up politics, they call it a generative issue. It can generate questions. And that's all the LGBT stuff is. When you have kids in front of a drag queen, kids are going to ask questions. Why is that person dressed like that? And then you can start talking about LGBT issues.
Grooming.
And exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
That's why it's called grooming.
Because it makes it normative.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
It gives politically motivated people an opportunity to bring up leftist talking points and leftist politics.
Well, and to that point, though, part of this is, as human beings, we have what's called observable reality, right? So to Phil's point, I could say, Phil, I'm colorblind, but that wall looks green to me. Phil'd say, well, I can see with my vision. That is a gray wall. Tim say, that's a gray wall. As society, we can say objectively, in reality, that's a gray wall. But my perceived reality, it's green. So we're having to accept everyone's perceived reality. I view, if somebody says, I view myself as a woman, and we're all looking at that person saying, no. Objective reality says, no, you're not. Observable reality says you're not. But we are now having to accept their perceived reality. Do you know where that's a problem? North Korea. They are controlling what is objective and observed reality, right? They are able to control what is reality and control language. That is where we are headed on this. That's what's happening here. And it starts in the schools.
It's all grooming in a variety of ways, but there is overt targeting of kids with sexual grooming, but there's also ideological grooming, and it all follows exactly what you said, generative issues. I know I explained it a lot, but just for the sake of context for anybody who hasn't heard it, I'll give you a very simple version. Modeling. They say, do you want to be a model? Modeling is a normal job. Lots of people model. There are famous models. The groomers who use modeling to groom kids will say, you're a model. It's normal. Everyone does it. Then they'll say, why don't you wear this bathing suit? Then they'll say, why don't you take this piece of clothing off? They're slowly inching you towards something sexual. If you want to make the claim that you're just trying to educate kids, it would not start with books that teach the kids how to use gay dating apps. And that's what they're doing. There's a book called This Is Gay. For those of you that don't know, a teacher in Illinois gave it to middle schoolers and in the book, there's instructions on how to use adult anonymous gay hookup apps.
Yep.
Like that is beyond just the intro level grooming. Like she's outright now instructing them on these behaviors.
Well, and to your point on the introduction, Target, right, where you had this huge protest over Target, they're introducing bathing suits.
Generative issues.
Right? Yeah. They're introducing bathing suits where kids can tuck, right? And
They were adult bathing suits.
yeah, adult bathing suits. But, I mean, it's in a place where a family shop, right?
And then the kid's going to say, Dad, what's tucking?
Yeah, what's tucking?
They're going to
What's
say,
that?
what's pride? You know, young kids that don't, the first time that they're cognizant and aware and be like, Daddy, what's pride? Mommy, what's pride? Right off the bat, the whole month of June has become a generative issue. And if you don't want your kids to be exposed to that stuff at 4, 5, 6, now you're called a bigot.
Yes.
It's unacceptable.
All the schools are doing it.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
I think conservatives, moderates, anybody who's anti-woke needs to sue the schools to get the flags removed.
100%.
Yes.
And just say it's a political flag. It is offensive to a lot of people. That's just reality. You should not have offensive things. And if the courts deem that you can have it, then start flying the flag you want to fly. Then, so there's that issue in Massachusetts where a kid wore a shirt that said there are two genders. They told him to take it off. Can't wear that shirt. Sued over it. The judge said until we have a resolution, you still can't wear that shirt. And my response is, okay, well then they shouldn't fly the pride flags. If saying there are two genders is offensive to some, the pride flag, which appropriates God's covenant, the rainbow, should be offensive to Christians. And that's a protected class as well, religious belief. Therefore, it should all go. If you can't have one, you can't have the other.
And that goes back to that observable reality of two genders. Like when children are born, that gender is not determined at birth. It is observed.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.